right, 2 o'clock. Let's get it going. Hi, everyone. My name's Gary. I am the director of the Denver Guitar Orchestra, and I have a fingerstyle book out, 5 of them, I think at this point, 5 guitar-ish books. They're all, you can find out all the information you need on the Denver Guitar Orchestra .com website. Just Google Denver Guitar Orchestra, it'll come up. And the main thing I do there is get people going from level 0 through level whatever they want to work on. The idea is not to do singing and strumming, but to actually turn your guitar into your singing apparatus. And so that's the plan. Level 1 class was earlier. This is level 2. First song in that is a Tisket, a Tasket. Not the greatest song in the world, but at least it's an opportunity for you to start working on different chords, having more than one chord in a song, and to be working on playing it melodically. So typically, when I start a song, what I want to do as a player is make sure I know how the melody goes. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time playing through the tablature. Now, at level 2, there's an expectation that you can play. Hello, J.E.L. Wilson. Glad you're here. Delighted to have you. There's a bit of an explanation or expectation that you can read tablature. I'll take my time going through this tablature. Many of you are probably just sight reading it. If you need the sheet music, denverguitarorchestra.com. It's on the front page. Hi, Elizabeth. You made it. Glad you're here. We're running through a Tisket, a Tasket. We're getting ready to start just by playing the melody. When I start a new melody, the first thing I'm looking for in the tablature is how far up the neck am I going to end up going. And this song is very cooperative. It's only going to stay in the first 3 frets, which means I can play this melody in first position. Again, on guitar, we have all these positions, right? First position is your index fingers in the first fret, middle finger, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, okay? If I play in fourth position, index, middle, ring, pinky, notice that your positioning on your hand does not ever change. You're still, if you go into seventh position, my fingers are still in that same basic arrangement. Back here, wherever it is, Tisket, a Tasket, it turns out I'm going to play the whole entire song in first position, and so I'm going to use index finger for anything in 1, middle for anything in 2, ring for anything in 3, and pinky for anything in 4, and that's going to be the way it works. Couple of thoughts on overall posture and the guitar. Again, does not matter what kind of guitar you use. You can use a metal string guitar, plastic string guitar, electric guitar, jazz guitar. None of that matters. We as guitarists, we like to think it matters. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with it, and we're going to teach you. If you should, at this point, probably at this level, be comfortable with reading tablature. If you're also able to read the standard notation, it's going to make your life a lot easier. I am not particularly well versed in reading standard notation other than straight line notation on guitar because I typically use tablature to learn the song and get it in my head quicker. I use the standard notation on that sheet music to help me know how long the arranger wanted me to hold the notes and so on. I'm the arranger in this situation, so I know how long I want the notes to be held. But if you haven't downloaded the song, please just zip on over to denverguitarorchestra.com. Click on that. It'll open up in a separate window and you'll have it. The melody starts with a pickup note into the first measure. So my first note is a Z, and then the next 2 notes are going to be 2 U's, right? So I'm going to use my middle finger on both of those, and then I don't have to actually bring my ring finger in until measure 2. So I'd like to go through, grab your guitar, get yourself in playing position, and let's play through the melody together. I always feel like when you're working at home, we tend to adjust the tempo to whatever we need to make ourselves successful. When we're on, when we get together, and in this case, life's weird, so we're going to have to get together online in the past, and then moving on with getting your positions and your so on, and getting everything moving forward. Notice I am holding the guitar in classical positioning. For me, this is the most comfortable. My knee is up on a stool. My right leg is sitting flat on the floor or slightly behind me. Guitar is at about a 50, 60 degree angle somewhere in here. And my shoulders hopefully well balanced. My spine is sitting up and down, nice straight line with my head being supported nice and neatly. And I'm sitting forward on my chair just a little bit so that when I'm playing, my my left arm is going to be nice and straight here. Elizabeth, hopefully I will unfreeze. It's been somewhat, depending on each person's internet connection, whether they're actually able to stay online or not. My internet connection's been pretty solid. Yours may or may not be able to keep you online. So I'm hoping you can either still hear me or you can log back in. But as far as I can tell, I'm online and in good shape. Now, we're going to play a Tisket, a Tasket, one note at a time. Look at the guitar melody line. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, 3, oh, oh, 3, 3, oh, 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 3, 2, oh, 2, 2. Okay, that's the basic idea of the song. Notice at measure 8, we are supposed to repeat. And so we're going to go at the end of the line, end of measure 8, you'll see a backward repeat. It's forcing you back up to measure 1. We'll play back down through measure 1. When we hit the end of measure 7, we're going to skip measure 8 and play into measures 9 and 10. Elizabeth, hopefully you got logged back in. I hope so. I think that I pulled you out. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can play it together. We're going to play it twice through. So we're going to play it all the way down to measure 8. Then we'll go back up to measure 1, play it down, skip measure 8, finish up with 9 and 10. Together, 1, 2, ready, play. I goofed up. I apologize. There's a pickup note. I'm playing 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to play 1, 2, 3. Oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, 3, oh, oh, 3, 3, oh, 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 3, 2, oh, 2, 2, oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, 3, oh, oh, 3, 3, oh, 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 3, 2, oh, 2, 2. Let the guitar ring out. Don't yank your fingers off of this left hand until the guitar is completely done ringing out. All right, that's how we play melody, right? Playing melody from tablature in fingerstyle. That's the baseline. Everybody should get really comfortable with doing that. I think for me, when I figured out that all I got to do is just follow those directions and keep my fingers in good position, and I will be fast, I'll be capable. Right now, I'm just using my thumb to get the melody out. That's a great place to start. Ultimately, you'll probably be doing a whole lot more with picking your strings using these two fingers, right? That's a classical thing to do, is use, they call it I-emming, I am, and you'll be using those two fingers. When you're practicing at home, go through, play with your thumb, then go back through and try playing it with just your index and middle. I think you'll find this one obviously much more challenging, but long term it'll make you faster and it'll make you enjoy playing guitar on a different level. All right, so we've played the melody and we have a general sense of how that's going to affect us. So now we want to go through and want to dig into the chords. In fingerstyle, generally speaking, the chords take precedence over just about everything because we're going to hold chords and then pick the melody out around that chord. It's different in classical guitar. We usually get rid of the chord altogether because the chords are so complex. We can't just drop them in there as a bar, some sort of grid. But there's still chord shapes that are there. They just don't look like what we're used to seeing. When in this case, a Tisket, a Tasket, there's only 2 chords. By the way, my entire book too, which you guys can download entirely, all of the songs on it from the website. Everything is a 2-chord song, everything, right? And so the purpose of that is to get you comfortable going from this chord to this chord and back. Now in level 1, you would have covered A chord and E chord. Okay, those are the 2 chords, 2 of the 4 chords in level 1. So this level, we start to, I think there's 16 chords in this book. We're going to do A chord, and then we've got to get it over to E7. When you're trying to get faster at chord changes, you want to chase your index finger. Don't put things on backward. Don't put your ring finger on first. You want to chase your index finger. So in this case, I've got my A chord. I'm going to drop him 1 string and 1 fret, and then these 2 guys are going to behave. Okay, so I'm going from A chord back and down. These 2 guys jump up to there, and then to make the difference between an E and an E7 is I'm just going to pull my ring finger up. Okay, so I'm going from A. Okay, that's how I get to E7. To getting back from E7 to A, again, I'm going to chase my index finger, putting him where he's supposed to be. The other 2 come on, and that's all I'm going to do. When I'm at home working on a new song and I got to get my chords in shape, I'll spend 10 times the amount of time going through very slow and figure out, hey, I'm going to get from here to here, and then I'm going to have to go from here to here to get back. That's time well spent, because one of the things we do is we have a tendency to download a Bob Dylan song, blah, 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 blah. The problem is what we're really doing is blah, 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 huge pause, blah, blah, blah. And that's not necessarily efficient practice. It's going to waste a lot of your time. What you want to do is the less amount of time that you can spend wasted in practice, the more enjoyment, and the sooner you're going to have a polished and finished piece. So what we want to do is take this nice chord, make that motion, make this motion. That's how we get back and forth between those 2 chords. Now, I'm about to sing the song. It's not that great of a song, but it's going to teach us how to get from A to E7. And good news is I'm not that great of a singer, so everything will line up perfectly and will sound really, really iffy together. Okay, grab your A chord. We're going to sing together. If you don't want to sing, hum. If you don't want to hum, hear the song in your noggin. 1, 2, 3. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it. I dropped it, I dropped it, and on the way I dropped it, a little girl, she picked it up and put it in her pocket. Let the guitar ring out. Stop it with this hand. Don't plonk down on it. Just stop it like that. What we're looking at there is A, E7, A. Words of advice on how to be on the correct chord at the correct time. If you see a chord change coming up and you're always reading 1 chord ahead to see if you're going to have to change, you don't want to fall asleep on the chord you're working on. You want to look 1 chord ahead to see what's coming up and abandon your previous chord in time to have your next chord on in time by the first beat of whatever that chord is. So if I'm having a hard time getting from chord to chord to chord, get rid of all of this nonsense and be much more simple. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it. You see, I'm pulling this chord up from its previous position way early so that I can be on that next chord by the time I got to strum again. So it's perfectly fine to lose some strumming on the right hand if you're working on getting your chords on in time. The other thing, notice as I was strumming, I was just doing thumb up and down. You can do whatever you want, or you can do plucks, you can do arpeggio picking, you can do all sorts of stuff with chords. What I notice a lot when I see newer players play is a fairly typical dun 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 dun, and that's for folk players and singers. They can figure all that out on their own. But for instrumentalists, we want to be smarter than that, right? So if I'm going to do a tisket, I'm making that decision. I might do it simple. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I might take this finger going up and down. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. Might do that. More on the next level, you're taking these four fingers and doing something meaningful with them. So I always like to start with just grabbing the four inner strings, thumb on 5, index on 4, middle on 3, ring on 2. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it. That's going to make you sound like a much better player pretty quickly by just going from this, which is a very folk music approach, to a more classical approach, which is this. It's also going to teach you how to do that particular shape and style much better going forward. The other one is just simple arpeggio patterns: thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it. So that's ultimately, as a fingerstyle player, you're really going to want to get good at this arpeggio pattern. Sometimes you do 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes you're going to do a combination of all of that. You're also going to start having your thumb move away from the other 3 fingers. Maybe these 3 fingers will be down below and the thumb will be up here. But you're going to get where you really want to do that motion there and then mix it up in as many possible ways as possible. In fingerstyle, we take the chords, we take the melody, we combine them, and then whenever we have a long note, like a half note, a whole note, something like that, we're going to fill it in with more picky right out of the chord. So we're going to be holding that chord already, so we just want to get in some extra decoration around that. And so you're going to end up playing a lot of arpeggios mixed into your chords and your melodies. Then you're having true fingerstyle, which is a conglomeration of all of the skill sets that we can possibly bring together at one point. And the nice part, classical versus fingerstyle. In classical, we really do want to follow what's on the page. In fingerstyle, we take what's on the page as advice, right? We basically want to follow what's there. We want to make sense of the song. We want to, people will know, oh, you're going to play, whatever song it is, and they have an idea of what that's supposed to be in their head. And we kind of want to meet those expectations, but we want to add something additional to it. Whereas in classical, we really do want to follow what's on the page. Now, a few of you are not sheet music people, and that's your bag. I would say that learning to read sheet music, learning to read tablature, learning to get good at this stuff it's not going to hurt you at all. It's going to make you a better musician. All right, so we've done tablature, we've done the chords. So now let's wrap it up with doing the TuffAxe. I call it TuffAxe. I thought that was cute. We're going to call it chord melody or fingerstyle or whatever you want, comfortable with. I'm going to play this just with my thumb down. And in book 2, that you can get, denverguitarorchestra.com, on book 2, all of those songs are there, and every last one of them will work with going thumb down. In the long run, you do want to be picking these chords But in the beginning, I'd say just a nice, beautiful thumb down is going to make every single one of those songs sound really nice. Okay, so we're going to start in fingerstyle. We grab the chord. Okay, chord is an A. We're going to grab the chord. We're going to see how much of this we can, how much of the song in each measure we can get out just holding on to the chord. Okay, so your pickup notes is 0. That's already open. The next thing it says 0, 2, 2, 2, 0. That is an A chord. 0, 2, 2, 2, 0. Okay. Next two notes are 2 and 2. I'm already holding a 2 down on this string by holding the A chord down, so I'm going to pluck that 2. My next note's a 2 on this first string. Now, if I'm holding an A chord, I'm not holding a 2. This is open, so I'm going to roll my ring finger down and get that 2. Okay. Then measure 2, I go right back to a full A chord. 0, 2, 2, 2, 0. Okay, that's that. Sounds good. Then I've got 2 and 3. I'm already holding this string down with a 2, so I'm going to pluck that. And then I'm going to add my pinky to get the 3. Okay, next measure, measure 3. I've got a nice A chord, so I'm going to strum all of those. And then I've got 0, 2, 2. 0 is already open. 2 I'm already holding down. 2, the last 2 in that measure, I got to roll my ring finger down to get that last 2, and then I'm going to roll it right back up. And now measure 4, I have a nice A string, A chord. Sorry. Okay. Next 2 notes, 2 and 2, I'm already holding down. Okay. Measure 5, I switch my chord to E7. Okay. And then the hard part of the song, there's a 3, that's the melody note right there. So in order to play that, I got to put my pinky there. Okay. And then I'm going to strum all 5 strings. And notice I'm not playing that first string. When I'm not going to play a string, my thumb is going to rest on that string. It's not going anywhere. It's just sitting there. Okay. It's called a rest stroke. Your thumb's going to do that a lot when you're playing fingerstyle. You just let it rest there. Okay, my next note's a 3 by itself. Okay, and the next 2 notes are zeros, so all I'm going to do is lose my pinky, and I'm going to get those 2 zeros. Pinky back on. And then now I'm at measure 7. I'm going to do a plain old regular E7 chord here. I'm going to grab the 3. Whoops. Let me start again. I'm going to grab that full chord. I'm going to hit the 3. I'm going to use my ring finger to grab a 2 there. I'm going to get an open note. And then at measure 8, I'm going to go back to the A chord. Okay. So I want to play that at speed. Again, with fingerstyle or with TuffAxe, we usually don't play it as a group. It's just too hard to follow along with each other, but maybe you watch what I'm doing and then you go try it. If you can play along with me, that's more fun. One of the things you can do when somebody's playing fingerstyle or playing on the chord melody, you can just strum your chords to help see if I'm keeping decent time. You could probably go through and play the melody along with me, whatever works for you. But again, with chord melody, because it's so hard, it's usually meant for soloists. Okay, let's give it a try. I'm grabbing my A chord to get started. I'm going to play through the song twice. I'll try to keep you posted as to where I am and maybe where you should be. 1, 2, 3. 0 strum, 2, 2 strum, 2, 3 strum, oh, 2, 2 strum, 2, 2, fancy 3, oh, oh, fancy 3, oh, oh, strum 3, 2, oh, and A chord, oh, strum. Let it ring, shut it down. There we go. So I made some mistakes. Trying not to, I hope when I make mistakes, I just act as if it never happened and move right on along. I'm not going to do anybody any favors by trying to go back and fix those things. And so that's how we play that sort of stuff. So we've talked about how to play straight line melody. Very important in fingerstyle, very important in all of guitar, as long as you're not a singer. If you're a singer, then melody is going to come out of your face. But most you're here because you're not a singer. Come on. So let's get the good melody to come out of the guitar. Next thing, we went over all the chords, A chord and E7, getting forth and back and forth between those two. You can do yourself a huge favor by spending a lot of time getting from one chord to the other chord and back, and really micromanaging all of those finger motions until you have a system in place that works for you every time. Chasing your index finger around will always work. It's always going to work well for you as a guitarist. Next thing, we put those two ideas together, took the chords, took the melody, smashed them together, we get chord melody. That's where you are finally playing like a grown-up. That's when you're playing at a level where most guitarists never get. Most guitarists don't know how to do that, and now you know how. And then just being mindful about your overall presentation. This isn't a great song, right? Yeah, but being able to do all of the tools and being able to get it together is what's important. Now, suggestions for going forward. We're going to be having these I taught ukulele all morning. My brain's in the wrong spot. We're going to have these guitar lessons going on probably every day for a while. We're all locked down and we might as well just learn how to play guitar, right? Let's do that. Let's see if we can all get a little better over while we're wasting time trying not to get a bug. And check the Denver Guitar Orchestra website, the front page on that site. I'm going to be putting up the links usually 5-10 minutes before the actual class starts. Just go there as soon as the link gets posted, and it'll be, like I say, 5 minutes before the class starts. You click on that, it'll take you over to what you're looking at right now. I know, not much to look at. I'm not near as pretty as some of the little girls here on YouTube, but I don't know. This is what you got right now. And we'll learn to play fingerstyle guitar. Download all of the stuff on the Denver Guitar Orchestra website. It's there for you to use. It's there on purpose. I put it up there because I want you to be able to play that stuff. What I do know is once you get through level 3, you're going to be playing at a very high level, you'll be a fine guitarist. And then beyond that, who knows where you can go. But I know that once you get through and you're playing level 3 pretty solid, you're set for life. You can play guitar for the rest of your life quite happily, and your guitar won't end up under the bed. A lot of you have been playing a long time, and meaning that you bought a guitar when you were 18, you played it really solid for 6 months, and then you saved your guitar for 20 years, and now you're bringing it back out because, well, what the heck else are you going to do during this time? So couple of thoughts: get you some strings on your guitar. If they're older than 1 year, they're too old. You need to get some strings put on your guitar. If you live in Denver, give me a call. If you don't live in Denver, I recommend taking it into the shop to have them change the strings. They do it every single day, all day long, and they need the money right now. And I think that for most of us, if we change our own strings, it's half the night. You waste an entire night of practice doing strings. And so it's a waste of your time. Question Elizabeth brings up first finger strum, which is the same as on ukulele. I do. So I'm using this index finger and doing this. The problem with guitar when you strum is we have a tendency to hit these two strings and they sound very dark, right? So you've got to be a little more careful with your first string strum than on ukulele, where we typically hit all of the strings at once. On guitar, we hardly ever hit all of the strings at once. And so just be mindful. If you're strumming in that manner, just be mindful of whether you want these top strings. I talk about thumb, and then I don't ever want to see your thumb. But if you're strumming a D chord and you go down, you are going to have to reach up to get that E string to stop making that horrid sound. And so that would be the only time I can think of where your thumb's going to come up and do any work over here. For the most part, I should never see your thumb. no matter what type of guitar you're playing, that thumb should be back here. And honestly, in fingerstyle, we don't spend a lot of time strumming anyway, Elizabeth. So I would suspect that you're much better off just planning on working this. I'd way rather you spend a lot of time working on this shape and really getting these fingers to do their job than to be strumming in guitar in fingerstyle. I just think that this is for folk music and for singing, and not for playing melodically on a guitar. Any other questions? I'm going to shut down the live stream here in just a second. Thank you all for being here. We had a nice turnout today. I really appreciate. I can see how many people there. I got a little widget up here that tells me how many people are watching, and so it's nice to see all of you. Hopefully you'll come back. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to post on the Denver Guitar Orchestra what my schedule is for tomorrow. I'm going to see if how I feel after today. I'm doing 6 lessons in a row today, and so getting kind of tired. And so we'll see if I'm still up for it tomorrow. If not, it'll probably be tomorrow, Saturday. If not, it'll probably be Sunday, and we can hang out and learn to play better. And like I said, do check denverguitarorchestra.com. It's got plenty of music to keep you busy through this weird time we're going through. So hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me. And like I say, get yourself your guitar out and up and running, and grab some sheet music off our site. And it's all free. I don't have anything to sell you. So I will talk to you a little bit later. How long are these lessons going, and will they get advanced? These lessons are going to go until they let us out of our houses. And will they get advanced? Level 4 is where I would consider advanced begins. And I'm not positive I'll be doing level 4 stuff online, but we'll see how long it goes. If we're here a month, if we're here a few weeks from now, yeah, we'll dive into level 4. And level 4 is the good stuff. Level 3, honestly, there's plenty of full-blown fingerstyle arrangements in there, and then we'll go from there. Remember, this is a level 2 class, so that's generally speaking still a relatively beginner type class. Level 1, I want people to play melody. Level 2, I want to get them started in fingerstyle. Level 3, the expectation is everything that you play is fingerstyle, and that you have your full toolbox and kit together. So thank you for that question. I'm not positive what advanced means for anybody in particular. What I do know is at level 3, you have the full toolbox, and the expectation is you can actually use it. So thanks for that question. All right, guys, thanks for being here. I'm going to shut it down. Have a wonderful day. Stay home, stay safe. It's a mess out there. Good luck, and I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow or the next day. Have a great day.